I'm Tom Vassell.
You?
No, you're next.
I'm next. I'm Wendy Yee.
Yo, I'm Chris Yee.
Nice to meet you, Chris Yee.
Nice to meet you, Wendy Yee.
Welcome.
We keep things professional here at the Dice Tower. We're back from the Dice Tower cruise. We're leaving in a week. But we're back for this week, and boy, do we have stuff coming this week. We'll talk about that in a minute, but we got a couple things to talk about first. First of all, contest. Woo! There's a great game from Forbidden Games called The Extraordinary Adventures Pirates. If you've not played this, it's a deck building / race game that is especially perfect for people who don't play a lot of games.
Ooh, I like this, Mike.
You don't need the word games, actually. But anyhow, you can win a copy of this. All you have to do is email us at contest@dicetower.com, and in the subject line, put the word adventures, and in the body, tell us who and what artist created the map art in Extraordinary Adventures Pirates. Something I have not mentioned yet in this verbiage I'm saying here.
Well done, Tom.
So anyhow, check out the game too. So that is from Forbidden Games. Good luck in the contest. Also, I want to talk, since we just finished Dice Tower Cruise, I'm not going to talk about Dice Tower Cruise for a while. Well, we might actually later on in this episode, but that's not the point. Dice Tower Retreat is September 14th through 18th this year. Some people ask me, what convention do I go to if I just only want to play games? It's the Retreat, because that is literally all we do. Well, we take breaks for eating. There's a Key Lime Day. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah, bring it on, Tom. I'm so excited for that.
So anyhow, if you came to a former retreat, you'll have the first chance to register, which will actually be this week. Otherwise, registration is going to open at noon on March 23rd. We're just giving you some heads up, telling you the dates. September 14th through 18th, it's going to be at the DoubleTree by the Hilton Miami Airport Convention Center, which is where we had it last year. And we had a really big room. We had more games than we had people. It's a good ratio. Actually, that sounds terrible, actually.
Well, we
like people. We don't just like games.
Yeah, but we brought plenty of games.
Yes, there are plenty of games.
Also, registration is open for Dice Tower East, because we've been talking about the cruise, and West is this coming week, and registration for that's closed, although if you do come to the door, you can get in. But you should think about Dice Tower East. That's July 6th through the 10th this year, and that's at the Caribe Royale Resort, which is a fantastic resort. And we have, I believe, like 1,200 people coming already, and we have room for more, though. And you can also get merchandise. You can pre-order merchandise. People talk about T-shirts and things. We're looking for volunteers to come to the con. So a lot of cool things that I'm excited about.
At 1,200 registrants, are we still at more games than people, right?
We are.
Okay.
Let's
see if we can break that ratio.
That's the goal.
And if you've ever wanted to see the biggest flea market in your life for board games, Dice Tower East, it's going to be there. I'm getting a truck for that sole purpose. We have so many games to get rid of. So anyhow, that's all the stuff that's coming out in the future. Let's jump to some contributors.
Hi, it's Tarrant.
And Stella here from Maple University and the Dice Tower. Is there a game that you usually able to talk about many times after playing it? We've got Nemesis here.
Yeah, it certainly hits that objective. I think every play, because of the way it unfolds and the way it's a game that will throw things at you and result in a movie-like story being unfolded, more so than it being a strategy game or anything like that.
It is a very thematic game, and it is a semi-cooperative. I think that might be one of the reasons why it can, I'm actually doing this, I'm after this. It's a bit like Dead of Winter, where there's a semi-cooperative element where, are you the bad guy, or something like that, where I try to escape the pot on this particular one, and trying to self-destruct the ship, and I wanted Terran to die.
Yes, and I duly did.
You duly did by accident. It's all accident.
Yes, I was a little bit too aggressive running into rooms, just hoping the dice would play in my favour. They very much did not.
Your sacrifice was not in vain because I won, because somebody cancelled the self-destruct. So if you played Nemesis before, you probably know what happened. If you haven't, I would highly recommend it. We play a lot of Euro games, but Nemesis is not a Euro game, but we still enjoy it.
It even has player elimination, but it's always near the end and it kind of works.
Yes, so please do play it. And hopefully you enjoy that. See you next time.
Assalamu alaikum. For the next few weeks, I'll be covering some of the worksheets or notebooks that Gamescooler.com provides on their website freely as downloadable content for your board games. These are worksheets and notebooks which kids can use before and after playing the games to actually build up some of the educational elements that they can grasp from simple games. So if you have kids in your family, try to check them out at Gamescooler.com and get these notebooks from there. Let's get on with it. For Ticket to Ride, they have a very simple worksheet in which you will be learning geography and simple mathematics. You will be using the tools like Google Maps or Apple Maps to actually find out the actual locations where you have built these stations. So it's a good tool to learn the geography of locations itself. But not only that, you will be measuring the actual longest route that someone has made. You will be measuring the distances between the different routes that you have created and then measuring them against the distances that are shown on the game board. Are they realistic? Are they comparable? Is each distance nearly equal to what is shown equivalent in terms of train length on the game board? And that's a good exercise for children to learn both mathematics and geometry, as well as adding them up to have more relative sense of the actual map locations as well. If that is interesting to you, get it from Gamescooler.com. Happy gaming!
As we continue down our series of games that came out 30 years ago and we never play anymore, we continue on with Nippon Rails, which neither of you have played.
Nope.
They have not.
Because
Not
neither of
at
them
all.
was alive 30 years ago. That's not true. But they were quite young.
5 to be exact. I am 35, right?
No, we discussed this yesterday. You're not 35 yet.
Oh, yeah, that's better than saying you're much older. Anywho, I think you guys would like the Cran Rail games. You probably would not like Nippon Rails. I gave that a 5.5. But that is based solely on the fact I don't like the Japanese map for almost any board game. If you notice, I like Wallenstein better than Shogun. They're the exact same game, but it's solely because the map is thin in Japan.
Yeah, it's
Power Grid,
very
one of my least favorite maps, is Japan.
Okay.
Ticket to Ride.
No, but that's because they do funky things so that the map is not that way.
They kind of
They zoomed in on the cities for that purpose.
Samurai by Knizia.
Yeah, anyway. So
Just saying. If you're gonna make a bold, sweeping statement,
I didn't make a bold sweeping statement. I didn't say I always. We're getting off topic here. Nippon Rails is part of the Cran Rail system, where supposedly you're supposed to use crayons to draw on these boards. I don't know that I ever met anyone who did. Everyone uses markers.
Okay.
You know, or they put a piece of glass on top. Crayons, And also, these games always crack me up. They give you a yellow crayon. No one can see that on a whiteboard. So there's a bunch of dots on the board, and essentially what you do in these games is you have a certain amount of money at the beginning of the game, and you draw your line, and depending on what it crosses, you get money. And then you get these cards that say, if you deliver this to this, you'll get so much money. And there's 3 orders in every card. You can do one of those. You then spend two hours figuring out how to connect the route and get the stuff from one to the other.
You're really selling us on this one.
Oh, I know. I'm being very
This
deliberate.
sounds like roll and write Ticket to Ride. No?
No, it's more like an Age of Steam, but you can pick where the tracks go.
Okay.
You then have one train that moves on your track, and so you have this one train that just moves on the board each turn. Each turn you can build some track and then move your train. And your train moves at a certain speed. Your train will then pick up goods at different spots. You'll then drive around trying to get them to the different areas. The game is good. Most of them. Again, I don't like this one because that's a very long map and it doesn't work as well. The problem is this game came out 30 years ago. If you saw the newest one, you would also think it came out 30 years ago.
Love it.
Because all the chips, originally they changed this at least. The chips used to be all white with a little picture of the good on them. That all looked the same. They added color chips in after a while. There's paper money.
Fancy.
And the biggest problem the game has, and I wish they never fixed it. One is I never know where anything is. You guys just played a game recently where you had that same problem. Wherever you're at.
Yep.
But when you complete an order, it can happen halfway through your turn. So then you draw another order. You then will pause for a very long period of time deciding what you're going to do next, because that new order is going to change everything.
Sure.
That being said, I still think you two would like the game. I really do. It's very mathy, very economic. Just don't get this version. Get the, well, this is going to sound very Americentric. There's the, get Empire Builder, which is the U.S., but my favorite is actually, I think it's either Mars or Lunar.
Isn't Empire Builder also ridiculously long?
Oh, they're like 3-4 hours.
Woo.
Also, I won't play it with more than 3 for that player thing. But for
the
the two
Japanese
of you,
one is only 2
I think you would
hours?
like it. What does it say here? It says 2 to 4 hours.
Got it. So 4 hours.
Okay.
I know how to understand.
No, I think you could play a game of it.
First game, 4
I think with
hours.
2 people you could play it in 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, get a different one. The
It's a big
Nippon Rails.
maybe from us.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Today we are looking at Box One, a game for one. A game for one, created by one. This is by Theory 11, presented by Neil Patrick Harris. Escape room-esque game, which for me I absolutely love. It's a game for one, but there's 2 of us, so I thought we'd be cheeky and play it as a 2.
Definitely. So this is our 2-player review of this game. Can you play it as a 2? Yes, you can.
Yes, you
Why not?
can.
I mean, it's basically intended, obviously, as a solo experience, but when there are times when you're looking at something, the other person just photographs it and looks at it on their phone. Simple.
Or looks at something else.
Yeah, so there's plenty to be doing. It's very easy to share this game. Can't give you much information about it. You're basically
That's
just
all
going
we can
through
say.
it. Yeah,
Bye.
a deck of cards that are giving you tasks to do. It starts a little bit kind of a little bit slow, but I guess that's the way of introducing you. Then it ramps right up really quickly. Very good experience.
Yep.
As escape room owners, we appreciate this kind of stuff very much. We know the amount of work that goes into this kind of stuff. We played this for 2 nights, maybe 2 hours each night, so it gave us a good 4 hours for the money. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
Good fun.
Our best escape room game in a box that we played.
Yes.
Definitely think about it if you're considering it, not pulling the trigger yet. Pull the trigger, buy it, it's really good. And you can reset it and pass it on.
Yes.
So,
definitely.
yeah, gets the thumbs up from us. 2 thumbs up for a 1-player game. Yeah, you know what I mean. Check out the full review on our channel if you fancy it. It's pretty much this with
That's it,
nothing
really.
extra, to be fair.
Yeah, can't say anything else.
Check it out anyway. Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next Breakfast.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello Prodi here, your Romanian content creator, and today I will continue my series where I will talk about a specific part of a game, and today we will talk about Hanamikoji. In Hanamikoji you have in the middle of the table number of geishas, which you want to get the influence by creating majorities of cards in front of them. What you have to do during your round, you have 4 actions. You must do all those 4 actions, but you do it I do an action, my opponent does an action, and so on and so forth. And after the 4 actions are done by both players, you check how you have majority in front of or what geishas you won the influence over, and so you can check if you fulfill the win condition or not, either points or number of geishas. There are 2 win conditions. And the interesting part is you have the 4 actions. These are all different. For example, you have build with the cards in your hand like 2 pairs of whatever cards you want, and the opponent has to choose a pair, and the other one remains to you, and you put the cards in front, and the player puts the cards in front of the geishas. But and one of the actions that I want to talk about is the action that I saw many people just use at the end, or don't really, let's say, strategize around it, or is not taking advantage of it. And this is the possibility to trash 2 cards from your hand. You know exactly how many, besides 1 card that is secret and is not played, but you in big lines know how many cards are in the deck, how many cards is for every geisha in the deck. And the point is, if you trash 2 cards, you have a lot of information regarding some things regarding a geisha, because you trash 2 cards from your hand that you know. So for example, if you are talking about a geisha that has just 3 elements or 3 cards in the deck, if you have one already in front or on your side of the geisha and you trash the other 2, the opponent doesn't know that there is no chance to win that geisha, but you know because you trash the cards. So this is quite interesting how you use that. This was just an easy example, but you can use this action really strategic and really interesting to mess up and get an advantage in this tug of war game. This is what I wanted to talk about. Hanamikoji, have a nice breakfast.
So last week, while we were on Dice Tower Cruise, we had content go up. Next week, when we're at Dice Tower West, we will not. We just can't get it all done. But the good news is this week there is a plethora of content. I'm going to continue my publisher series, doing my top 10 Matago games. I'm going to do the top 10 games played on the cruise. We're very happy. Our cruise game show was recorded by the cruise ship, and I thought it came out really well.
I think it did.
It's in a really cool outdoor amphitheater. It's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to go up. Also, let me see. Oh, yes, tomorrow, as a moment of silence, the last episode of the Dice Tower podcast goes up, episode 750. Got a couple shelf reviews, some board games that I'm taking a look. Finally, I'm taking a look at the new HeroQuest game system, and I will not allow Hasbro's shoddy service to affect that review much. I'm excited. I'm taking a look at Creature Comforts, and actually one of the coolest games, weirdest games, is called Voices in My Head, which is a really neat new game I'll be talking about. What other reviews are going up this week? I'm taking a look here. Are you guys reviewing anything this week, or did you already?
We put up a few reviews last week.
Yeah, we put up quite a few. We'll do something inevitably. Just recovering.
It's bound to happen.
Now, all our live shows are going up this week with one exception. So we got Board Game Breakfast today and Thursday. We got what's our other live show? Crowd Surfing, a 2-week episode of Crowd Surfing with one of my favorite non-game projects ever.
Oh man! All right, I'm looking forward to this.
Also, one of my favorite game projects ever. So, very excited. Actually, there's quite a few good things. I think it's gonna be hard to pick project of the week. We're not doing marbles tomorrow. Sorry, but there's a couple good things in response to that. One, Shoots and Marbles will be live at Dice Tower West. Bring a marble though. So bring a marble to come, and otherwise you get one of my generic marbles. We ain't bringing our good staple.
None of the fancy stuff.
They don't travel. So if you're coming to Dice Tower West, bring a marble. We'll do a live Shoots and Marbles there. But tomorrow at 2 p.m., hopefully, Trey Parker of South Park fame will be here in the studio doing his top 10 games of all time live while we try to guess them. So
that'll be fun.
I should have put all the South Park really. Is there any South Park games?
There's got to be.
Board games? Yeah, tons of video games.
Yeah, but I'm gonna put South Park here in BGG. Uno South Park.
Ooh.
Can I say that and get away with it?
We got to get a copy of it.
I don't think I can get it fast enough.
Amazon same-day shipping.
Same day.
Anyhow, so that's all going up. Is there anything I'm missing? There's a lot of different things going up this week.
Q&A?
Live play tomorrow.
Oh yeah, my Q&A today at noon. Oh yes, and we have a couple live plays. Tomorrow we have Taburu, which is that system that's been talked about for a while, where the board game reacts to your phone and iPad. It's a whole technological thing. And then on Friday, and I just zoomed all the way through my list here. On Friday, I am playing a game called Legacy's Allure live here. Also, I'm reviewing Dream Crush. Ooh. Find out who my Dream Crush is. I know, it took a while. We played it at Gen Con.
Gen Con, yeah.
Well, it's not one of the top 10 of the year, if you know. So
Is this one of the games where you like take your name and your Dream Crush's name and you like do some math?
It has 3 people, and you have to pick who your Dream Crush is.
Oh, okay.
It could be Trevor.
Is her name
Anyway,
Laura?
that's what's happening this week. Let's move on.
What is up? My name is Matthew McCack, and this is Smashing Buttons and Slamming Cards. This is a segment where I talk about a video game I love and I connect it to a board game I love. And this week, I want to talk about Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is a pirate video game. You're going off on an adventure. It is best played cooperatively with other players and your friends, really, where you can be in call with them, so you could like direct the ship and everything, and you're going out on quests to find treasures, and there's sometimes like monsters and things that come out from the waters and the depths, and you have to take them on. But the only thing I wish the game had, it has amazing graphics, it's cartoonish, I like it for that game. I just wish it had more of a sense of purpose. So I would like to connect this game to Forgotten Waters. So Forgotten Waters is another pirate themed game, and it is of epic proportions. You are going through a story. It's app driven, where you have the person talking to you, telling you what's going on in the story, and there's all different kinds of voice acting going on, which is amazing. It's real-time worker placement, where you're placing out your pirates and stuff in terms of like where they're going to go, what actions they're going to take, but you're on a timer, right? So you have to make quick decisions in this game, and it's really about the story, and it's really about your own pirate story where you're trying to reach your legendary goal, right? So you're a little bit selfish in this game, which is what a pirate kind of is, right? Even though you are playing cooperatively in this game to reach the end of said story, otherwise you all lose. Anyway, that is it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like, you could check out mine and my brother's channel called Room 51. I'll catch you next time.
This is a segment where we take a look at a board game based on an IP, and I tell you if the IP and the mechanisms match. Today we're looking at the Crocodile Hunter picture pairing from Funko Games. So what's going to happen is you start the game out, you're going to put all the tiles face down, and you're going to have 3 of the cards up. You're going to flip over a token. If it does not match one of the cards, you just flip it back over, and the next person goes. If you flip it over and it does match a card, then you keep both of these in front of you and kind of scores you a point, and a new card will come out. When there are no cards left on the game board and all the animals have been found, whoever has the most circle tiles is the winner of the game. The game is that easy to play. In this game, you are him. You are looking for the animals. You have cards face up. These are the ones I'm searching out for, and I gotta go find them. And that's kind of what you're doing in this game. So you're like, I want to find a wombat. So then you go into the wild and you try to find the wombat. And that's kind of what you're gonna do. So in that regards, the IP and the mechanisms do match. Oh, that's a little bit of a stretch, but it is a game for a 3-year-old. So you don't expect full immersive thematic experience here. But for what you're trying to do in this game, it really works. It's a different take on a matching memory style game, and it worked for us, and my 3-year-old likes it, so it gets his approval.
Today I'm talking about conventions because they're back, baby! I really think that conventions are back at this point.
I think so.
That type,
Sure,
that going on.
We never know. We never know.
But, last year, conventions were back in a finite way. Gen Con had reduced capacity, although everyone at conventions was very, very happy to be there. But a lot of the little conventions, we had a retreat and stuff. But I think, I said at the beginning of the year that I made a prediction that very few major conventions, I said no major convention would be canceled. Of course, they then immediately canceled New York Toy Fair. But other than that, I really am feeling very confident about the upcoming convention season. Like, we just came off the Dice Tower cruise, and I thought it went very well. I mean, obviously there's always hang-ups and issues, but that would have happened anyway. And in a, I was about to say post-COVID, but that's not right. But in a, as COVID is, as dwindling, and we deal with it, that's going to cause issues at cons probably for the entire year, maybe even into next year. That's just going to happen. But conventions are back, and it changes how we work here at the Dice Tower. We forgot how nice it was, in a sense, to not do conventions.
It's a lot of work.
It is. Like, when we got off the cruise ship, I drove straight here to the studio, and then we were here till... When did we finish unloading? Like 1:30?
1:30, yeah.
And then I was going to work more, and I didn't. I went home and fell asleep.
I slept a lot.
The cruise was one of the first times in a while that I was very tired after the cruise. But I feel like that was justified. We worked a lot. But conventions for us are work because we want to have content stay up on the channel. We can't always do it, thus no content next week. But doing our own conventions requires moving the library, which, as we have discovered, is an incredibly challenging thing. Still presents challenges.
Yeah, we still don't have like the perfect way to do it yet.
Yep, 4 of the carts broke on the way back. But we didn't lose any games. We did lose a lot of pieces, though, I think.
I think we did.
Ooh, yeah. Well, to be fair, the last game got found an hour after the library was closed. We're not pointing fingers, but, stuff like that happens. There's a lot of stress that goes into running the library, running the convention, shipping it.
I do have to say, we had a lot of volunteers help clean up, though.
Sure.
Like, we packed everything on that ship up really quickly.
And I'll tell you this, if you go to a con and you really like that con, consider volunteering for that con. Because volunteers really help. You make other people's experience better. But just getting together to play with other people, the spirits are high. Yes, people are not going to be happy. There's always going to be odd people that you'll meet at a con because there's odd people who live in our world. But for us, I don't prefer in my life to ever run 2 cons as close. We've done this now 2 years in a row. Last year we did the retreat and Gen Con in back-to-back weeks, which was dumb. This year we did Dice Tower Cruise and Dice Tower West with a week apart, which is dumb.
Are we spacing more next year?
I hope so. Yeah, the cruise is in January next year, and I think Dice Tower West is in March. I think.
Nice. That sounds,
a little bit of breather.
Great.
2 weeks apart sounds great right now.
Yeah.
But I still love conventions. For us, as content creators, it's so affirming to go to a convention and that people tell you they like your stuff. Because they definitely tell you they don't like it online.
Yes.
Or they'll point out every error you made. Let's say you put up a video and there's a mistake in it, people will be on that instantly.
But yeah, at the convention, we had so many people come up to us, and I don't know, we feel like junior level. We're not. There's no tiers of.
There's not tiers. Okay, I want to be clear on that.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Plenty of tiers, though. But no, it's just
We're less known. We're newer.
Yeah, we're newer. That's a good way to put it. And so, still to see so many people come up and say, "Hey, we love having you around. Thanks for always giving Tom a hard time." Anything like that is so affirming. And I don't know.
When you like the same taste as us, that's really cool too.
So I'm a little wary with conventions coming back just because of the amount of work that goes into them. It just is. There's just a lot of stuff going on. But I do like having them. We're not going to go to all the conventions. We can't. And then people are like, oh, if we went to all the conventions, we would never
We wouldn't have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, we wouldn't. I mean, I would love to go to a convention every month, and if that was my only job. But even then, I think I would get tired of it.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of traveling, and you have to be, when we're at a convention, we have to be on all the time. I'll be sitting at the desk at the convention like this, just sitting there thinking pleasant thoughts, and someone will come by and be like, "Are you okay? You look really tired." And I'm like, "I'm not. Welcome! Woo!" And that's very tiring.
Yeah.
I should tell people, "You look tired." That wouldn't work either. Anyway, I'm excited. Dice Tower West is going to be fantastic and spectacular. We also are very involved with our cons, so we may or may not have blogs afterwards, so keep an eye out for that. I think we are going to look at the footage from the cruise and see. You're not getting a particular ton from me, but
I think Chris took a ton, so I think we're set in
I
that
tried to make sure there was
regard.
enough, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I hope it might not be the most cohesive of stories. This is not, this is not
This is not a literary work of art.
professional documentary style, but
Anyway, cons are back.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, we are Ryan and Bethany.
We're Ryan Bethany Board Game Reviews.
All right, you guys, today we're talking about The Thing Infection at Outpost 31. Basically, this is a social deduction game, but this is this thing that has invaded our compound, our research facility, and we are trying to both escape and figure out who the bad guy is, so that we only escape with humans on board. There's all these different challenges, there's all these different rooms on the board. You kind of progressively go from one stage of the area to another, and then finally the third stage before you escape. By the way, we've never made it to the escape phase. We die too much because this is a really challenging, in a good way, fun game. There's one person who is the thing at the beginning of the game. There always comes a point later on in the game where more of those infection cards are doled out, and another person might be then infected. So then you might have multiple people. One person might have even had their allegiance changed from good to bad. So it's really fun to see how that plays out. This adds, all the board elements as well as the social deduction elements into a really fun package.
This game had a high fun factor for me. I had so much fun. I mean, even though I'm losing every single time, but I had so much fun playing it and trying to figure out what was happening and who's doing stuff. And the thing that I really liked about this game as opposed to, I like some social deduction games, but what I really liked about this is that it wasn't just social deduction. There were things that you needed to do on the board that you needed to progress through, and so I loved blending those two things together, doing the social deduction while also trying to get things done on the board. I just loved seeing those meld together and failing at all of them.
Yeah, this felt like Among Us in that way. You literally had to do tasks in order to win, but you also had all this, you had to fight off the bad guys as well and figure out who they were. So that was really interesting. This game, it took about an hour, I would say, which was really
perfect.
A perfect amount of time to kind of get really, really sunk into it, but at the same time, not overstay its welcome. So I thought this was a fantastic social deduction board game, cooperative game with a trader mechanism. Really fun. We really enjoyed it. Everybody, if you want to hear more from us, you can find us on Facebook or YouTube. We are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. Everybody, this is Ryan and Bethany, hoping you have a happy, healthy breakfast. Bye, everybody.
guys.
Hey, my name is Oliver, and since the last time I've been on Board Game Breakfast, I've turned into an official teenager. And now that I've turned into an official teenager, will I throw out all my kids' games? The answer is no. And there is one game in particular that fits this segment perfectly. This game is called Ice Cool. This game is a dexterity penguin flicking game. There's two variants. The first variant is tagging, where the tagger penguin is trying to tag the runner penguin, and and then the second version is racing, and this one is you're trying to collect fish, go through doors with a teammate, and whichever team gets there first wins. So I really love this game, and it goes over really well with family and just anyone, really, anyone of any age. That's why I'm not going to throw out this game, because I think it's a really good pick for a board game night if you're trying to stand up and flick. But that's the only complaint, is you have to angle it, and you can get some really cool shots, but sometimes the shots don't go exactly where you want to go. But that's just how the game works, and I think it's really fun, and you should go check it out. And also, there's a new game from Brain Games, the people who made this game. It's called Iron Forest, and it has 2 levels. Literally on another level, right? So this might be on Kickstarter right now, so go check it out. And with that, have an awesome breakfast, guys. Bye.
Hey folks, today we're talking review of other things is the Book of Boba Fett, the TV show on Disney+. It is impossible, literally impossible for me to review this without at least a few spoilers. I have to, for the purposes of us reviewing this.
Sure.
So if you don't want any spoilers, mute your mic, mute the sound now for 5 minutes or so, or if you're watching this later on, skip ahead to the next section. You've been warned. We're not going to do major, well, I don't even know if we're going to do major spoilers. There's going to be spoilers. I can't help it. All right, Book of Boba Fett.
Is what it is.
I think, I don't normally do numerical ratings of these things, but I think for this I'd give it a 7 out of 10, but my kids would give it a 10 out of 10, except for the first 3 episodes they fell asleep during.
I liked the first 3 episodes.
I don't consider you a child.
Well, that's fair.
That's the highest compliment you've ever rendered unto.
I am almost 35, so
No,
you
but
know.
what I mean is the show had a major tonal shift. Major.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
it felt like 2 different shows.
Yes.
I felt like we
almost
had...
felt like 3. Flashback show, middle chunk, and finale chunk.
I agree. Well, then The Mandalorian. The fact is this, we're going to have some spoilers. You cannot watch, I think, the next season of Mandalorian without having watched this. This is Mandalorian season 2.5.
I'm surprised that this wasn't called, like, The Mandalorian and then, like, The Book of Boba Fett as, like, a subtitle.
You know what? If they had done that and squeezed some of that Mandalorian stuff throughout it, then I think no one would have complained.
Yeah.
Probably, honestly. Yeah, I mean, because that's my biggest complaint is the show is called The Book of Boba Fett. I wanted Boba Fett to get a little bit more stuff done.
He was barely in 2 of the last 3 episodes.
Right.
And even in the last episode, if I had watched it and you didn't tell me the name of the show, I would have said, is this The Mandalorian? I think he's the main character.
Yeah.
So, Chris says there's 3 shows. The flashback show, I enjoyed.
I think that was a really cool move.
I mean, Dances with Tuscans is, but fine. It was good. Everything with the Mandalorian on point, except for jerk Luke. Still have a problem with the Jedi. Jedis are jerks.
I accepted that a long time ago, though, so I was okay with it.
I get it, but I thought Luke might change things. No.
I didn't.
He did try to kill Kylo Ren, so there's that.
I think that's why.
Spoilers! Whatever, I said there was going to be spoilers! Also, those movies should be spoiled because they suck. Okay, but I still like this. There was lots of giddy moments, especially in the finale. There's giddy moments. So for me, the positives is everything with the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda, period. Everything.
Sure.
The finale, while it has a lot of issues, was just grandiose fun.
Sure.
Silly fun. Yes, there's a lot of minor things that I was like, 1 carload of people does not constitute an army of reinforcements. And Gamorrean guards were done wrong, man. You know, feel bad for those guys.
Oh, man. Yeah, and that's the thing is he got beat up a lot. That's fine. Maybe that's a little inside joke to the fact that everyone loves Boba Fett, despite the fact that his only appearance in the movies, he was pretty much beat up all the time.
Who's the baddest character in the show?
Who's the baddest character in the show?
I would say it could be the Wookiee.
It could be Chrysanthemum, yeah.
Yeah.
It could be his sidekick. What's her name?
Fennec Shen.
Yeah,
Fennec Shen. It could be the Mandalorian. It could be the guy who's the sheriff.
Yeah,
It's not Boba Fett. All 4 of those people, cooler than Boba. Grogu. That's better than Boba Fett. Anyway, that being said, I'm not hating on this. I'm not an anti-Star Wars guy. I'm gonna watch the next one. I'll even rewatch this one because I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think that's
I
where
think it was still fun.
A 7, like you said, is pretty appropriate. Mandalorian is way higher than a 7, both seasons of it.
Yeah.
Well, season 2, I think, really elevated. I
so
thought season 2 was way better than season 1 of Mandalorian.
And so people kind of catastrophize these things. This is the death of Star Wars because this was only a good show instead of a great one.
We made it past
Wars because this was only a good show instead of a great one.
We made it past episode 1 through 3, so I don't think it's the death.
That's
Star Wars is not. It's not going to be gone.
Yeah. No.
Oh, Cad Bane? Yeah, Cad Bane was cooler than Boba Fett.
Which one was Cad Bane?
The guy who was a cartoon come to life guy.
Oh, the
He came out of an anime cartoon.
Yeah.
Him. He was cool. But yeah, and there was a few things they didn't pay off very well and all. But you know what? I'm still, if they made a Book of Boba Fett Part 2, I'd watch it probably.
Oh, hands down.
Although I'm gonna make a wild guess that they won't. I don't think they will.
The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, redone. Retake.
Redux.
Alrighty. Well, anyhow, the spoilers are now over. Let's keep going on with the show.
Hey, board gamers. BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back on the breakfast. I'm doing some light reading this morning, and that's because I'm getting ready to teach Reavers of Midgard at Southern Board Game Fest coming up in March. Reavers of Midgard is a Euro game with a lot of strategy that I think people have overlooked. So let's get to the table and see how it plays. In Reavers of Midgard, we're going to try to score as much glory as possible over 6 rounds. We're going to start by attracting Reavers into our Viking boats. And these Reavers will give us dice, they'll give us stuff, and they can also become leaders and help us specialize as we go through the actions on the board. The actions are awesome. You only have one worker, but each time that person places a worker on the board, the rest of the players will follow, taking lesser actions. The bonus goes to whoever gets to that spot first. Each of the spots are different. You've got the ability to go to the villages and the raiding with the villages. Each of these cards can upgrade your boat or maybe even give you some points at the end of the game. You can also raid with the keeps, and usually kind of a set collection mechanic for big scoring at the end of the game. The last two sections all about exploring the sea and conquering. The first part is battling at sea. We'll see if the all seas are quiet. In this case, yes, it is. It's all quiet. And then we'll battle the sea monsters. That's either having the dice to match the sea monsters and what those skills levels are, or rolling dice for combat, trying to get enough hammers to defeat the monster, which gives you points and sometimes a bonus at the end of the game. And of course, we've got those territories, 3 different ways of getting those. Again, matching dice or turning in food or glory. But in any case, those will give you points each round and give you bonuses during the game. Hey, so that's Reavers of Midgard, published by Grey Fox Games and designed by J.B. Howell. I think it's a hidden gem, and people should take a look at it. It's got fantastic art, and it's got great gameplay. Until next time, laissez-les bon temps rouler.
All right, that is it for another Board Game Breakfast. I'll be back at noon in a couple hours with a live Q&A. I think that's all the live stuff for today, but we got other videos going.
Is there What's Happening today?
In 19 minutes, Z will be doing What's Happening.
Neuroshima Hex, the new app, I think, is what's scheduled.
Got it.
Okay, good stuff.
Come watch that. Don't ignore the Q&A at noon. But there's lots of other videos going up all week long. Like I said, we got a couple live things tomorrow. So until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Wendy Yee.
I'm Chris Yee.
Have fun going to conventions again. Yes. Woo!
Thanks for watching Board Game Breakfast. Tune in each week for your daily dose of gaming goodness with Tom Vassell and all the gang. Until next time, I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching Board Game Breakfast, a Dice Tower production.